Hey, Mets fans, this is Vito Calisi, Jonathan Barron. We're live from Mets House right now. We are Meet at the Apple, the official podcast of the New York Mets. And we're here for another week at Mets House right now. There's a bunch of people here shopping. And guys, there's going to be chances for you to win signed balls. So head over to the front of the store when you want to get in on some games. But John, I see you're rocking not a Mets jersey today.
John's repping St. John's, right? I mean, this is a great weekend here in New York City. St. Patrick's Day going on right now.
Same practice day right now.
Same practice day, so a lot of buzz around that. We are obviously approaching real Mets baseball, spring training. I don't want to say it's dragging, but, once the first weekend comes and goes, it kind of, it's just like, let's get this going right now. You see Juan Soto hitting majestic home runs seemingly every night. The Mets starting staff has been great all spring long. Some bullpen battles to be decided still. A lot of news to talk about, so a lot of excitement. But yes, also we have St. John's Red Storm. I thought it was appropriate to wear. Obviously, we got a Queens team, so repping Queens. Johnny's playing Creighton University tonight for the Big Ten Championship. So we've got a lot to talk about, but let's talk about some Mets baseball before we give away some signed Mets baseballs, Vito.
Yeah, I think the first thing to talk about is Clay Holmes was named the opening day starter by Carlos Mendoza yesterday. And that's something I think me and you were especially excited about because all year, all spring training, we've been talking about Clay Holmes and the advances he's made this offseason. And John, you were one of the first people down in Port St. Lucie getting to watch early live BPs with Clay Holmes. And I remember you were texting me from the day you got there saying how impressed you were with Clay.
Clay's different, man. I've seen a couple interlocking navy and white NY hats tonight. And, the fans of that team are soon going to realize that they let a very good pitcher get away. And I think that the trepidation of, he's going from a relief pitcher to a starting pitcher, can he really pull that off? We've seen it done successfully recently. We've seen it with Seth Lugo. We've seen it with Jordan Hicks. And if there's anyone that can make the transition look easy, it's a guy like Clay Holmes, who is almost a surgeon on the mound and how he handles himself off the mound, whether it's, long tossing or throwing plyos against the wall. He does everything so thoughtfully. If you guys haven't checked it out, make sure you listen to the Clay Holmes interview that we did down in spring training. You can check it out on the Mets YouTube page or wherever you get your podcasts. But when we talked to Clay, I remember walking out of that interview thinking, number one, the Mets have an ace. And number two, I'm ready to run through a wall with some of the things that Clay was saying. And so it should come as no surprise that he was named the opening day starter. He has been so great this spring, adding the kick change, the sweeper, the sinker, the four-seamer that he talked about. He's got the whole package. He's got a deep bag, a deep repertoire of pitchers. And I'm really excited to see Clay Holmes getting things going for the Mets in Houston.
Whispers, Clay Holmes is your opening day starter is the only thing I want to say about that situation. There's some things happening over the other side of town that have made that tweet quite ironic, but I think fans have had enough fun with that as it is. Okay, let's move on to an injury that we got to talk about. Francisco Alvarez is out for a few weeks. And I think initial reaction from fans was obviously very alarmed, very like, oh no, what does this mean? But I think something that we have to remember, one, this was luckily in spring training. He's going to be back towards the beginning of the season. And this is a very specific type of loss we're getting here where this was a bounce back year we were looking for with Francisco Alvarez. This is not like we're losing somebody who had that 25 home run season last year that we were looking to match up to. We were looking for Francisco Alvarez to have a bounce back year. And luckily, we have the guy who backed him up when he was injured last year, Luis Torrens,
right,
who we talked about this all year, the unsung hero of 2024, the impact Luis Torrens had on the team and was able to right the ship, the defense he gives. I mean, we were watching that guy throw out dudes at second, it felt like every night.
Yeah, so, you see some numbers, and the Mets had a really good record when Francisco Alvarez played last year. And when he was absent, they struggled a bit. And I've seen that floated around a lot. Can the Mets have success without Alvarez, who we know works so well? The pitching staff, Clay Holmes told us about Alvy and the job he does behind the plate. We've heard that from a lot of guys. But the statistic with and without record-wise Alvarez last year, a lot of that came during the time when he had the thumb injury in April and May and didn't return until, I think, mid-June it was. And the Mets struggled in those times because they did not have Luis Torrens on the roster. It was Omar Narvaez who was getting the lion's share of the starts in Alvy's absence. Like you mentioned, Luis Torrens not only brought the bat. I mean, you remember the sweep that the Mets had in D.C. before they went to London. He had the 2-homer game, the getaway day, before they took that trip to London. You mentioned the defense and him controlling the running game. He was one of the best catchers in baseball when it came to throwing out would-be base stealers on the base paths. And he has an advantage now because you remember he came in around the time that Iglesias came in, late May last year, and he had to learn his staff. He was with the Yankees. He was in the minor leagues. He opted out of his contract. He had the out if he wasn't on the major league roster. He exercised it. He comes over. And one of the toughest things, and the reason why you don't see catchers often traded at the trade deadline or acquired at the deadline, is because it's tough to learn his staff. You know, not just the starting rotation, but also, of course, the bullpen. Now Luis Torrens comes to camp. He has a full spring to work with guys, many of whom he worked with last year. New guys, new teammates he's working with for the first time. He's going to go into the season having that relationship developed with a lot of his teammates. And that's going to make him even more valuable, I think. So between the defense and the offense, which, you know, Luis Torrens has a viable bat, especially at a position where, Vito, how many really good offensive catchers are there in baseball? He is above league average at the position when it comes to his offense. So the Mets will weather the storm. It's, of course, a big blow. But Francisco Alvarez, he's still just 23 years old. And that's an important thing to remember. We all know the kid has a whale of talent, and he's going to be a great catcher for this team moving forward. But right now, a tough situation, but the Mets will be able to weather this one.
A tough one. But like you said, I think it's the best. You never want an injury, but when you have an injury like this happening in the middle of spring training, when you still have time to recover and get into the season, it's the best case scenario. And
it's a common injury. Hamate bones happen. You know, it could happen swinging. I remember John Carlos Stanton in 2015. He broke his hamate bone. Mike Trout's had the injury. So it's a baseball injury. You don't really see it in many other sports, but it's a pretty routine surgery. And Francisco will be back. And like you said, you know, the Mets are going to need him in June, July, August, September. They've got a really good option, and they're lucky to have a great option like Luis Torrens.
So we're looking for our first two people to play a game with us. This game is going to be based on David Wright.
Who likes David Wright in here? You guys David Wright fans? We got a pretty big day coming up in July, David Wright Day, July 19th. You're going to be there, sir, right? All right. You want to try to win a signed ball here? All right.
Come on over. Step right here. We need one person to play him.
Don't be shy. All right, right here.
All right.
A little one-on-one.
All right, guys. So this game is called The Price is Right.
We don't have the theme music.
We do not. It is not licensed.
It's copyrighted. I don't know. Which one between us do you think is more Bob? Which one between us do you think is more Bob Barker? Yeah.
Me? I would have said he's Bob Barker, and I'm like Drew Carey, just size-wise. But we are going to give you guys two dry erase boards. And this is going to be similar to The Price is Right, okay? We're going to give you some categories, and you guys have to guess the answer. And you know how Price is Right works. Closest to the answer wins. If you go over, you are eliminated, okay? And what are your guys' names?
Step up to the mic, guys. Introduce yourselves to the world. All right. Are you guys ready for the first Price is Right prompt? All right, let's see it.
All right, career RBI.
David Wright's career total RBI. What do you think?
You can't go over.
Price is Right rules. You got to
write it down. You don't want to give him an edge. And we're going to play best of three, okay? Is everybody here going to David Wright Day?
All right, you guys got your answers?
All right. Pencils down or dry erase markers down. All right. I'm going to count down from 3. Reveal on 1, 3, 2, 1. Let's see the answers.
950. And what do we have there? 650.
All right. 1-0 right now.
970.
All right. You got 2 rounds. You got 2 rounds to make it up, okay?
All right. Let's check the next David Wright prompt. David Wright's on-base percentage in 2007. He had a great year. Perhaps the best year of his career. 30-30 season. David Wright's on-base percentage in 2007.
Hunter, people playing along on Twitter at home. We are streaming to the Mets Twitter, guys. Mets Twitter, Mets Facebook, Mets YouTube. So people are playing along at home. Unfortunately, we don't have prizes for them at home. We only got prizes for the people here in the store.
You guys got your answers?
All right.
All right, let's check them out in 3, 2, 1. Reveal them. 395, and the answer is 416. So we got a tie game here.
All right, 1-1.
Sudden death. Here we go.
All right, now let's show them what this is going to be for. What are you playing for?
A Luis Angel Acuna signed baseball. No, we didn't bring one of those. All right, let's check our third prompt here. The Price is Right. David Wright career walk-off hits. That's a tough one. I remember my favorite, 2006 against the Yankees. The hit over Johnny Damon's head against Mariano Rivera. That was a good one. What? At least one. It's not a trick question. I remember his last one as well in May of 2016 against the Brewers.
You're giving away all the numbers right now.
Well, all right. You guys both got a number? Hold on. We're thinking. I could smell the wood burning. We good? This is Jeopardy music. This is the wrong show. All right.
And not legal.
Definitely that too. That's licensed. You guys ready?
What's your answers?
6, 5, 8. All right. We got a winner.
We got our winner.
Andrew's the winner. Andrew's taking home that Luis Angel Acuna signed ball.
All right.
Good job, Andrew.
Do we have 2 more people who want to play Price is Right?
All right. Step right up. Who else wants to play? Who else wants to get involved?
See, I can't tell if people are walking over or just walking past the entrance of the store.
He wants to play?
Do you guys want to play each other?
I'll just say random numbers.
All right, let's do it. First of all, you guys got to introduce yourself. What are your names?
I'm Maddie.
Maddie. Tommy, nice to meet you guys. All right, you guys ready to play Price is Right? All right, let's do it.
All right. Career RBI versus the Phillies. All right, think about it. It's in the division. Play them a pretty good amount of times, right?
About 180 games against the Phillies in his career.
That would have been a good category.
What's that?
How many games did he play against the Phillies in his career?
All right. Yeah, we need a number. All right, you guys ready? All right, let's see those answers. 100, 395. All right, and the answer is 121.
All right, so we have a 1-0 lead right
You
now.
downplayed yourself. What are you hustling us here? All right, let's check the second prompt.
You got a 1-0 lead for Maddie, right? All right, in a single season, what was David's highest stolen base count? So in a single year, what was the most amount of stolen bases he had?
You guys got your answers? All right, let's check them out. Ooh,
30.
this is close.
35 versus 30.
This is close.
We're threading a needle here.
We certainly are because the answer is 34.
Oh,
Maddie.
Maddie wins 2-0.
Maddie.
Maddie, you just won an Edwin Diaz signed baseball.
Just like that. Wow. Good job.
Good job, guys. We will be playing more Prices Right in a few minutes, but John, why don't we catch up on some more Mets talk?
Yeah, what do you got?
So if you'd like to play Prices Right, just head over to the front of the store and we'll play in a few minutes. But in the meantime, let's talk about yesterday. We had some standout performances. Reed Garrett, a guy we've really gotten to know, really gotten to like. Reed Garrett, another strong spring training performance, and it looks like he's just going to be that solid piece of the bullpen that he turned into last year.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Reed Garrett, like you mentioned, come up with huge moments all season long. You think about the big save he recorded back in April of last year in L.A., some huge moments in the postseason, and he really became a guy when he was given the ball in a big situation, you felt comfortable. I think a product of the pitching lab that we hear so much about, a guy that, you know, with Detroit and Baltimore was a different pitcher than he turned into.
Yeah.
Now pumping 99, nasty sinker, nasty change. So Reed Garrett, a huge part of this bullpen, a guy that you can expect to see in a lot of high leverage situations in 2025.
You bring up that pitching lab, and we saw Luis Severino spoke to Foul Territory. I think it was yesterday, and he brought up the pitching lab and the trainers at the Mets. And I think as a fan of this team for such a long time, and the different eras we've seen in this team and the different injuries we've seen happen, knowing how good the training staff is in this current regime is such an important aspect that, I mean, every team should be putting an incredible amount of resources into this. I mean, having a guy like Luis Severino record a career high amount of innings, being healthier than he ever was, and then you learn it was even like what seems to us to be simple things. He was getting better sleep. He was eating better. He wasn't staying up until 3 a.m. playing video games. These are things that they kind of put him on the right track with. And then Luis Severino turns around and turns that into a multi-year, millions of dollars of contract deal. And that is why the Mets have become a pitching destination. It's that pitching lab. It is that training staff, not just a pitching destination, but a free agent destination in general.
And that's why I think when you talk about Clay Holmes and how is the transition from reliever to starter going to go, the Mets have made big investments in sports science and nutrition and all of these areas that really make a difference for a player, especially a pitcher, lasting over the long haul of a season. And so when you talk about, hey, can the Mets stretch Clay Holmes out to get 120, 130, 140 innings? The answer very well might be yes, because of the way that the Mets are going to go about keeping him healthy and sustaining him throughout the year. The same thing for Sean Manaea 2 years ago. Sean Manaea was a guy who prior to last year, I think he threw 120 innings the season before, and he had a great year for the Mets. So it's all the small things that, no pun intended, Blink-182 song there, but it's a lot of the small things that the Mets do right when it comes to keeping players healthy. We know that this is a very long season, 162 games. It's a grueling season. There's a lot of day games after night games. And for the Mets to be one of the leaders in this space, they say availability is the best ability. The Mets being a leader at keeping guys on the field and performing at the top of their game throughout the season is going to eventually come through, show through, and help them, be as competitive as they can over the long haul.
Yeah, I mean, look, we had the chance at spring training to talk to Andy Green, the VP of player development. And in that conversation, one thing I asked him about was, what has it been like to see fans start to know, like, coaching acquisitions? Like, we're at a point now where fans don't just know minor leaguers. They don't just know major leaguers. Fans know staff members of teams. They know front office members. I mean, David Stearns was one of the biggest free agents of last year's offseason, if you think about it. And he brought up Desi to us, who came over here from the Yankees. And Clay Holmes specifically shouted him out in that interview we did with him, where Clay Holmes was saying how important of a factor Desi was to that Yankees rotation last year and how much he's been helping him. And that's why you saw him with the tripod he was walking around with all spring training.
That's right. Another guy is Eric Yagers, who fans may or may not know about right now, but the Mets pitching philosophy from top to bottom, Eric Yagers being down, VP of pitching, and you go all the way up to Jeremy Hefner, who, you think about Jeremy Hefner and how long he's been a part of the organization. First of all, he goes back to actually being a pitcher for the Mets. I was there when he hit a home run against Joe Blanton back in, I think it was June of 2012. I think it was Omar Quintanilla's Mets debut that night.
You don't think that, you know that.
I know. Oh, well, I do know it was Omar Quintanilla's.
You brought it up to Jeremy Hefner.
I do know it was Omar Quintanilla's Mets debut. But I think one of the most impressive things about Jeremy Hefner and what speaks volumes about Jeremy Hefner and how great he is at what he does is how many different managers he has worked under as the Mets pitching coach. Oftentimes when teams change managers, a new skipper comes in, and it's natural. He wants to bring some people in that he feels comfortable with. And Jeremy Hefner has, I don't want to say survived, but he has been retained for multiple managers. And I think that really just speaks to how good of a job he does. And you talk to guys on the staff, and they all talk about Jeremy Hefner and the work he does. And we've talked to Jeremy, and Jeremy's told us, hey, not all pitchers are the same. There's a delicate balance of how you go about handling them, both mentally and physically, and helping guys harness what makes them the best version of themselves. And so what Jeremy Hefner has done, let's go Johnnies, and continues to do is magic, but it goes all the way up and down the organization, Vito.
Yeah, 100%. Now, I see some more people in Mets jerseys here. I see some Mets hoodies. And we have a Jesse Winker signed baseball that we would love to give away. So if you would like to win a Jesse Winker signed baseball, step right up.
Everyone loves Jesse Winker.
All right, we got one person. We need somebody to step up and face him.
You want a chance at a Jesse Winker sign? He wants a chance, of course.
All right.
So welcome to The Price is Right. First of all, you guys got to introduce yourselves. Tell us your names. Right into the microphone there, please.
My name's Boko.
All right. Nice to meet you.
My name's Rafa.
All right. Nice to meet you guys. So here's how this is going to work. You guys know David Wright? Remember David Wright? Of course. So we have some David Wright statistics here, and we are going to ask you for the number, and you have to write down what you think it is. Whoever's closest without going over wins, and it's best 2 of 3, okay? All right, cool. So let's see the first one.
2008 home runs. So in the year 2008, how many home runs did David Wright hit? Remember, you want to be the closest without going over.
Hold on. All right, so we
Hold
got
on.
30 and 33. What's the answer? Suspense. Vito, what's the answer?
I believe one of them got it on the nose, right?
I believe 33 is the right answer. All right. So that's the first one. Here's the second one. Career grand slams hit by David Wright.
Oh.
How many grand slams did David Wright hit in his career? You guys got your answers jotted down there? All right. Let's see him. We got 1, we got 2, and the answer is... I know the answer.
I know the answer too.
Let's see if we got it on the screen here.
The answer is
Give it to him.
4.
The answer is 4. All right, so we're tied. 1 each.
1-1.
So we're going to a sudden death. This is like Game 7 of the World Series right now. We got a Jesse Winker sign ball on the line.
Whoever wins this is going home with the baseball.
How you guys feeling right now? Feeling confident? You feel confident? I mean, you got your Johnny sweatshirt on? Could be a great day for you. It's going to be a great day no matter what. But let's see if we can make it a little bit better.
How do you feel, Rafa? You got the first one on the nose. You have that in your advantage right now, okay? All right.
You know ball. I know you know ball. All right. Let's check out the last one here.
All right. The next one is going to be in 2006. How many wins did the Mets have as a team? Not just David Wright. How many wins did the Mets have in 2006?
A great team led by David Wright.
The team, the time. I had that DVD. I think I gifted you a copy of that DVD last year.
Certainly did.
I got bored and I bought 10 copies on eBay for no reason.
It's great. It's a great
You
watch.
have one too, Hunter.
It's a great watch. My question for you guys is, how old were you in 2006? Okay.
Okay.
And you were not born, were you? No.
I was in high school right over here.
It's a bad question to ask. It makes you feel old, you know?
Oh, yeah. All right.
All right. 89 and 93.
We do have a winner.
We do have a winner. 97. 97.
All
So
right.
congrats. It's going to be a great day. You got your Jesse Winker sign ball, and the Johnnies are winning tonight. They're going to beat Creighton. Let's give it up. Nah. But he's in Mets house, and that's what's up.
Do we have another 2 people that like to play The Price is Right?
We got some more signed balls to give away, guys. Step right up. Who wants to get involved?
No one else wants to go.
Let's do it. Got a couple right here. All right.
All right. Who's playing?
Let's do it.
Is it you versus you?
You guys want to step up? Put your Mets trivia to the test, your Mets knowledge. All right. First of all, before we get going, guys got to introduce yourselves to us, please.
My name is Bo, and I'm 7 years old.
All right, Bo. Nice to meet you. How about yourself?
My name is Lee, and I'm 10 years old.
All right. So you guys are familiar with David Wright, at least, right? All right. It's like me and Darryl Strawberry, kind of. Familiar.
Yeah.
Didn't really get to see him play much, but know about him. All right.
All right. Before we asked what the highest amount of stolen bases David had in a single year was, now we're asking, what was David Wright's career stolen base count?
How many steals did David have in his career? We know he had the 30-30 season in 2007, so he had some wheels. What are we thinking here? What are we thinking? Not Jose Reyes. You guys got your answers? All right. Stand by to show them in 3, 2, 1. Reveal them.
We have 193 and we have
148.
148.
Good guesses. Good guesses. What's our answer? 196.
196.
Wow. Almost on the dot.
Oh, 1-0. Good. Okay. We have a good lead right now. 1-0. You got 2 rounds to make it up. Now we have an old school Brooklyn Dodgers fan here. I heard he went to the Polo Grounds to watch them. No, they went to Ebbets Field to watch them.
I don't think it's Brooklyn. That's a Red Sox logo. Or maybe UCLA Bruins. That's your team. What's your team?
That's not Brooklyn?
I think it's Red Sox. All right. By the way, should have said this at first. We're playing for a Clay Holmes signed baseball right now. Mets opening day starter. Excuse me. Edwin Diaz. Thought it was 35. It's 39. Perhaps better. Maybe you like Edwin. All right. What's our next prompt here? Thank you, by the way, Hunter.
Career hits. How many hits did David Wright have in his career?
The Mets all-time hits leader.
This is the juniors division of Prices Right.
Perhaps his record will one day be broken by a guy you guys will grow up watching. A number we'll be hearing a lot about as we get closer to July 19th when the Mets retire David's number against the Cincinnati Reds, 4 p.m. Get your tickets at Mets.com/tickets.
I'm very excited for that game. I was listening to our Francisco Lindor interview that goes out on Monday, and I was listening to the part where we asked Francisco about David's number retirement, hearing Francisco say that he just can't wait to be outside watching that speech. And he said he hopes it's a speech that's one of those ones that people just go on YouTube and watch for years and years.
All right, you guys got your numbers? Career hits for the captain. Let's see him in 3, 2, 1. 1750 and 1800 on the dot. All right, well, what do we got here? 1,777, which means I believe we have a winner.
We do have a winner.
We have a winner, an Edwin Diaz signed baseball. You are the winner for knowing your David Wright stuff. Congrats for winning. The Price is Right.
Right. We will be playing this game. We have another. How many more rounds do we have? No, not balls, but how many more rounds of the slides do we have?
We got some more baseballs to give away. So if anyone wants to play, let us know. What else you got for me, Vito?
All right. Well, you know what? We did not talk about. You know what? I saw this yesterday.
Uh-huh.
There was a survey done amongst, I believe, players all among Major League Baseball. Francisco Lindor tied for first as who was considered the best with their glove. With, did you see who it was with?
I did not.
It's a hint. He was traded for him.
Andres Jimenez?
Yes.
Very nice. Now a Toronto Blue Jay, Andres Jimenez. He'll be at Citi Field on opening day.
But just goes to show you how respected Francisco Lindor is amongst baseball and what it's like having a player of that magnitude, of that stature, leading the diamond, taking charge, being a field general. And I just can't wait to watch this team we have this year. I mean, the more and more I think about the 2025 Mets, the more excited I get. Seeing Juan Soto hit his 4th spring training home run, every single one feels like an event. I mean, it's incredible. Did you see the guy who caught his home run ball yesterday was actually wearing a Juan Soto jersey?
I did. I think that was Iona Prep that took a trip. I think those are players from Iona Prep.
Really?
Yep. And of course, we all saw the video from earlier the week when Juan was getting chirped a little bit, and he looked right at the chirper, and he sent him a ball courtesy of that bat. So
and he missed it.
He missed it.
He actually fell.
It's special to watch this guy. I think last week, right around this time, 1 week ago, we talked about how Juan Soto at-bats are an event. And when you're at Citi Field and he's coming up to the dish, don't be in line getting a hot dog or a beer. Make sure you make that bathroom trip before, because you want to watch this guy every single time he steps in the batter's box. It's unlike anything we've seen before. You know, Juan Soto, over the next 15 years, truly can be one of the best, if not the best player to ever wear the New York Mets jersey. And I don't say that lightly. We're playing the prices right here today. The Mets have had many great players in their history. Hall of Famers like Mike Piazza, all-time Mets home run leader, and Darryl Strawberry, a guy like David Wright. But Juan Soto is he's different. And when I said, let's just get the season going already, I think one guy feels the same way, and it's Juan Soto. He looks ready to go. I don't think that he's lagging. You know, people say that the pitchers and the batters, who comes into camp ready to go first, more ready for the season.
Biggest move of the offseason. It's hammered out towards right field. Well hit. And that one is gone. Juan Soto. His 4th home run of the spring, and he gives the Mets a 1-0 lead.
Oh, here's something else.
That was a no-doubter off the bat of Juan Soto.
I like most of the City Connect jerseys. I especially like the Mets one, which you can get here right now. I love the New York City cement style gray with the splotches. What did you call them? Splotches? What, speckles?
Splotches or I think speckles, because splotches is not a very nice word.
No, it's not. It's an ugly word.
It's a bad word.
But no,
not a bad word. It's just not a great word to say.
Talking about hats, I mean, there were some other really popular hats that went out this week too.
Oh yeah. Those are good. Those are good. They went out and they came back.
They went out, came back, and right now, I mean, on the resale market, they're just absolutely crushing.
Yeah, it's like an iPhone that had what was it, Flappy Bird, when they took it away.
Dude, you reference Flappy Bird on the iPhone more than anybody I know.
Yeah, I mean, Flappy Bird was a great game. I don't know why they got rid of it.
But you know what? Let's talk about Sean Manaea.
Let's talk Sean Manaea.
Sean Manaea has started throwing again. He's making his way towards recovery. Believe his timeline is right where it was originally, which is late April, early May, I believe, which is the timeline we saw. And it goes back to show you that training staff that we saw before, getting a guy ready to make a return, and a guy like Sean Manaea, whose presence on this team is so much more valuable than just what you see in game. And you know, we're talking about Juan Soto, and not to keep harping on how important Juan Soto is, but there was an article that came out this week. I want to say it was a Tim Healy piece. It might have been somebody different. It might have actually been The Athletic. But it was talking about the impact Juan Soto's had on the clubhouse already. And they were talking about how Juan came in, and one of the first things he did was he was having a line drive competition with all the guys, which was who can hit a line drive without hitting a home run.
So they play a line drive game in batting practice where I think it's 2 versus 2 or 3 versus 3. And they have the TrackMan, so you got the exit velocities and the launch angles, and I think there's parameters you have to hit it within. And I don't know if I ever showed you the video of the guys around the cage playing that game. I think it's an Eric Chavez thing too, the line drive game. And I know Winker and Nimmo and Lindor and Soto were all involved. Hunter knows what I'm talking about. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great, great drill to not be selling out for power. You try to hit the ball on the screws, up the middle, the other way, pull side. And if you do that, eventually the ball is going to take off and hit home runs. But go on.
Well, so Brandon Nimmo said that Juan Soto, I think, added an extra stipulation to it, and which I believe was just like no fly balls, nothing near the wall. And he said that Juan brought this game in, and the guys all turned into little kids. And they were all just running back in being like, no, I want to go. No, it's my turn. And it just shows you that camaraderie that I think people were nervous about. Will the 2024 Mets carry over to the 2025 Mets? Will that energy, those vibes still be there? And I mean, everybody who watched the pursuit that dropped yesterday on the Mets YouTube saw how close that team was. That was an incredible 24 minutes. But we're seeing early signs that things are getting right back into place. Brandon Nimmo hosted his yearly Pop Stroke outing, I think 2 nights ago.
Yeah, I wanna find out who was the reigning champion, because we know that Jeff McNeil played in the Pop Stroke Invitational.
We know a few people brought their own putters too.
Really?
Reed Garrett brought his own putter. David Peterson brought his own putter. And who else? Hunter, somebody else brought.
I'm going to be honest. I don't like that. We're not on the greens.
No, but dude, at Pop Stroke, you can pay like $20 to rent the extra special putter they have anyway. So I feel like it's fair game there.
Yeah, but Taylor does that when we play. He brings his fancy putter. And I'm like, dude, we're playing mini golf here. Like, we all should be on the same level. Don't be bringing your $400 putter out here. And I'm using the Pop Stroke putter.
But you can always upgrade a Pop Stroke.
I understand that, but I think that, we all got to be repping the same tools, rocking the same tools to get to the same means. I just don't like guys bringing their own putter,
Chicken Place is going to get really jealous that you're bringing a Pop Stroke right now.
I've heard that the Chicken Place has actually made its rounds around camp. I'm not kidding.
Did anybody in Mets house right now go to spring training this year? You did? How'd you like it? Did you get to go to the Chicken Place, John's favorite restaurant?
Oh, no. I went when they played the Nats in West Palm Beach.
Okay, you went to West Palm. All right. So, yeah, there's a restaurant in Port St. Lucie, Florida called the Chicken Place. Great. It's actually called the Chicken Place. Great restaurant. And from what I understand, after a little public service announcement here or there down in spring training, at the Apple, I think the Chicken Place picked up a few customers, some diehards. I miss it, man. I miss it. To go get a whole rotisserie chicken, 2 sides, and just a lovely ambiance, lovely atmosphere. What I'm thinking is we open a Chicken Place right here in New York City. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, baby. Chicken Place in New York City.
Hunter, there are replies to the Chicken Place talk right now. I need to know. But
we've gotten tweets from people that went.
I know people did
went
appreciate
to the Chicken Place.
Look, when you go to PSL, it is nice to know some recommendations because you're down there and there's only so many options. But guys, we got I think one more signed ball to give away, so we're looking for another pair of people to come play the Price is Right.
Step right up. Step right up. We got a couple
We
more.
have 2 more rounds, so we have 6. No, the slides. It's not about the.
All right, so you guys know how this works. My man's looking for redemption over here. All right. Okay. Are you a St. John's fan also? All right, you going to the game tonight? I think UConn losing is going to help you out there. If UConn was playing tonight, it'd be a little bit more expensive, but not as many Creighton Blue Jay fans in New York City. So.
We know the Blue Jays never win in New York.
All right. Well, getting ahead of ourselves. Kalkbrenner's a tough guy to deal with. All right, let's see the first Price is Right prompt here. David Wright All-Star games. There were many. How many do we think?
How many jerseys? Do you have any David Wright All-Star jerseys? I have 2.
I don't. I know you have the Angels Stadium one from 2010. You have the Citi Field one also, right?
Yeah.
2013.
So I think we have the same 2.
His first All-Star game, I believe, was 2006 in Pittsburgh when he was in the home run derby, went to the finals. You guys got your answers? All right. Let's see him in 3, 2, 1. We got a tie, so we're gonna have this is null and void. Let's see what the answer was, by the way. 7. All right, so that one's void. What's our next prompt?
All right.
David Wright's this is a tricky one.
Where was David Wright drafted?
What number overall?
In the first round.
So what overall pick was he taken with?
Sorry, I gave away.
But not really.
Yeah.
It's actually tricky.
I have a surprise over under I can do if we need.
All right.
I recently, this isn't the question for you, but it could be. I recently did a closet reorganization and I found out how many jerseys I own.
That's you could
It's
be
an obscene amount.
You could be lying though. There's no way of telling the truth, knowing that you're telling the truth. All right. What overall pick was David Wright taken with? No clue. So it was the first round, but it wasn't necessarily in the first 30 picks. So did you guys jot down answers, or did I just give a really big clue that I probably shouldn't have given? All right. So you're not going to change. You're an honest man. I appreciate that.
All right.
You got one also? All right. Let's see him in 3, 2, 1. 12 and 33. It wasn't 12. What do we got here? Number 38. Bonus question. So the Mets took David with a sandwich round pick that they got for losing a free agent. Do you guys know what free agent left that gave the Mets that pick? After the 2000 season, a free agent left.
Are you writing the answer down?
You could shout it out.
I'll give it to him. If he gets it, that's his prize.
All right. Sure.
Is it Mike Hampton?
My man knows ball here. My man knows ball. How many we got left? All right. Are we throwing another prompt out there?
Yeah. Oh, no more. We don't have any more prompts.
All right. Well, then Mike Hampton. There you go. What do we got?
Is that Jet Williams?
Jet Williams signed ball.
Baseball. That is a good one.
Thank you.
Mike,
All right, you two want
you
to?
said you're not a Met fan.
Here.
Oh, my dad's a Met fan.
Okay.
All right, you two. One of you is going to walk away with something. The question now is, how many jerseys do I own? Wait, give him the dry erase board.
Yeah, we need the erase boards here.
How many jerseys do I own? I just reorganized my closet. I didn't throw any out, so that's one big hint. How many jerseys do I own? And I'm talking, should I do just Mets or just all jerseys in general?
Just Mets.
Just Mets? Okay. You know what? We'll do 2 rounds. We'll do Mets, and then we'll do all jerseys I have.
You guys got your answers?
All right. Let me see.
38 and 25.
All right.
There's a middle ground there.
So if this is this just Mets?
Just Mets.
It's 20. So you both went
They
over.
both went over.
You both went over. So next one wins. How many? If I have 20 Mets jerseys, how many jerseys do you think I own in general? A hint is my wife was really unhappy about this. Even more unhappy that I refused to throw any away.
Didn't you tell me you got rid of some jerseys back in the day that you shouldn't have gotten rid of?
Oh, years. Oh, I did. I threw away. I threw away a Sam Darnold jersey like 2 years ago, and for a second I thought it was going to come back into fashion.
Nah. 45.
45.
All right. 39.
All right. The answer is 47.
There we go.
But we have good news. We're going to send both of you home with some baseballs. Wait, Hunter, give them the same one. Do you have another Kodai? No? Okay. Then you guys can decide who gets what. I believe it's a Kodai Senga and Edwin Diaz.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's fair. He did win.
No matter which way you guys go, you both get a good one. All because Vito owns a lot of jerseys, apparently.
Yeah, well, we ran out of prompts, so I just wanted to give away another prize.
I hear you. That's what we do here at Meet at the Apple.
All right, we have one more prize, it looks like. Let me see. John,
Oh, he's wearing a Sam Darnold jersey.
John, who do you think this is? No idea. I don't know who it is.
Me neither.
Should we give away a mystery ball?
Sure.
All right, we have a mystery ball, so we'll be doing one more giveaway. All right, come on up. What's your name?
My name's Rocco Golden.
Are you a Mets fan?
No, but I have a lot of friends who are, so I just want to brag to them that I have this ball.
All right.
Okay.
So how are we giving this away, Vito?
Well, do we have any of the? Do you happen to still have any of the things we had from last week? The resumes?
Rocco, who are some of your favorite Mets players, or who do your friends like?
I have respect for Pete Alonso.
You have respect for
You have
Pete
respect
Alonso.
for Pete Alonso.
I respect him too. I respect you respecting him.
What brought you out to Mets house today?
So my brother over there, he wanted to come, and it's really cool. And also, I knew that you guys do this trivia thing. So
All right.
Okay.
I have an idea, Rocco. It sounds like you're enjoying yourself here at Mets house, and all your friends are Mets fans, and I think I know who you root for, but there's a whole wall of Mets hats right here to the right, and I'm thinking maybe you grab one, and maybe this could be the start of something new.
maybe,
What do you think about that?
maybe, but maybe not right now.
When are you thinking?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. Come on.
You know, there's a new right fielder that the Mets have. He wears number 22. He's going to be here for the next 15 years. How old are you, Rocco?
I'm 12.
You're 12.
What
so
grade is that? Is that like seventh grade?
you'll be off your parents' health insurance by the time that Juan Soto's contract is up with the Mets. So if you think about it like that, Rocco, this could be an idea.
I believe you'll be going into high school the next time the Yankees ace pitches again.
Something like that. All right. So what are we going to get for Rocco here? How's Rocco going to win this ball?
I don't know. I mean, maybe we just give Rocco a ball and we hope that the goodwill will turn him into a Mets fan in the future.
Rocco, will you promise to be rooting for the Mets in 2025 if we give you this baseball right here?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Can I get a let's go Mets, Rocco?
Let's go Mets.
All right. That's all we needed, Rocco. Thank you, Rocco. Give it up for Rocco. I believe it's Jose Siri.
Thank you.
You got it.
And this is his brother, Frank.
What's up, Frank?
Hey, Frank.
Frank, you got to get your brother on the right side of things.
All right, guys. Well, this is Meet at the Apple. We're the official podcast of the New York Mets. There's a QR code up that if you'd like to scan, you can give us a subscription on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm on Twitter at Vito F. Khaleesi. John is at JMB9191. We have some really cool content. Something we did the other day with Brandon Nimmo has gotten a lot of traction on Twitter where we went over the tongue sticking out at Michael Harris. And then Michael Harris actually responded to the tweet.
He did. And we have a really cool episode coming out on Monday, I believe.
Francisco Lindor on Monday. We're also going to release interviews with Edwin Diaz this week, Brett Beatty. We also have a Francisco Alvarez interview I'd love to get out pretty quickly. So a lot of cool stuff coming out. Meet at the Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, at Vito F. Khaleesi on Twitter, at JMB9191. Thank you for coming out for a beautiful Saturday at Mets House. Enjoy your day. Thank you, guys.